Hey everybody, this is Chewy Plays Nintendo, and today I'm bringing you a new kind of video, which is more of a comment response. So this comment is from our podcast that we did and just put out yesterday, but in that podcast, Sergio and I talked about Animal Crossing Switch release dates, and I guess the specific point that I made was that I believe that Animal Crossing is coming in November, and it's mostly because I feel like Nintendo at this point is hoping to have a big game during that holiday season, and with I guess Pokemon and Animal Crossing are those big options for that time slot, and Pokemon, that could always get pushed back because right now it is definitely put as late 2019. They're not willing to commit to a date, and so to me it just made sense for them to hold on to Animal Crossing until that point, just to make sure they have a major game out for that holiday. Of course, we don't know what else Nintendo could have planned, but Austin left a comment on the video, and I thought it was pretty interesting, so I think this is what I'm going to respond to. Anyways, Austin wrote, "Since Nintendo has stated they won't be announcing games more than 9 months out from their release dates anymore, don't you think Animal Crossing will be out by June at the latest? Thinking of the cadence with announcements for Smash, since they've been similar, I'd also expect a direct 3 months after announcement, maybe December?" And so, yeah, I guess this is a good point, because Nintendo has stated that they want to, I guess, really shorten the time between announcement and release, and so I guess I'll have to look around and find the exact article when they said 9 months or so. But I guess since the Nintendo Switch has come out, I have been of the mindset that Nintendo is pretty much trying to keep every announcement for a game within a year. There have been some exceptions at this point. For example, we have Metroid Prime 4, which has not gotten a date or a year at all. And that was announced back in 2017. It is almost the end of 2018, so that is well over a year. Yoshi, I think, actually fell into this category too, where it got announced in 2017, got skipped at E3 2018, and is coming out early next year. The last one was Fire Emblem, which got announced even before the Switch was even out. So that was in, I believe, January or February of 2017. So these three games, I guess you can lump Bayonetta into that as well. So there have been exceptions to this rule, and I believe with the case of Metroid Prime 4, there was another Metroid announcement for a 3DS game, and I just feel that Nintendo would want to, at this point, the last Metroid game before that 3DS game was Metroid Federation Force. I think it was just called Federation Force. Like, they kept Metroid out of the title, but, or maybe the problem was that they put it in. Regardless, that was met with a lot of backlash from Metroid fans who were waiting for a new game. And so when Metroid Prime 4 was announced, Nintendo also announced Metroid Samus Returns, which is a remake for the 3DS. And I think they mostly announced the game just to, I guess, keep the fans from being angry that yet another 3DS Metroid game was coming out, and it's not exactly what they were asking for. And so this brings me to the point of Animal Crossing Switch, where, yes, I believe it's coming out in November of 2019, which is, it's pretty late in the year. That's 11 months that we'll have to wait for that whole year, and we're barely in November now, so about a year away from right now is when I'm expecting to see the game. Of course, that goes well beyond the 9 months that Austin listed, and I guess the reason I feel Animal Crossing was announced was because of Super Smash Bros. The last Direct in September, Super Smash Bros. Had a character reveal, and it was Isabelle. Of course, the difficulty with that announcement was that people were, at first, I know I went through a roller coaster of emotions during this, but at first, we thought we were getting an Animal Crossing game, and then all of a sudden, it was actually Isabelle in Smash. It felt like a sick trick played on the Animal Crossing community, but luckily after that, they ended by revealing Animal Crossing Switch, which I think they're kind of using the same tactics as Metroid Prime 4, where They know there would have been a lot of backlash about no Animal Crossing once again. They'd already gotten a lot of backlash during E3. They had to start blocking people online for posting this message about Animal Crossing, essentially. So I guess I just feel like Animal Crossing had to get announced when Isabelle was going to get revealed. So I feel like it was inevitable for Animal Crossing to get announced this year. And I feel like September was the day to do it because that was the last general direct, essentially. But, because we just got the final Super Smash Bros. Direct, and they're not going to take any of that time from Super Smash Bros. And commit it to another game. So it just made sense to do it in the September month versus now in November. So I guess what I'm saying is I feel Animal Crossing was one of those exceptions to that rule, which I'm sure we'll see lots of games from here on out that are exceptions to that. But I think overall Nintendo is doing a really good job of keeping a tight lid on announcements until things are closer to release, which is pretty good. And, you know, I guess I don't feel like waiting till November next year is incredibly long. I think what's going to be harder is waiting to see that first trailer. I'm just really excited to see the game, and I'm sure it's going to be tons of fun to play. And I guess, you know, with that said, I would not mind being wrong at all about this. Like, if this game comes out by June next year, that would be great. I guess another part of my doubts lie in that we've already gotten a winter announcement, which is Super Mario Bros. U. And I don't know, I feel like the winter announcements for months like January and February tend to be smaller games just because we're coming off of a big holiday sale time. So I feel like most of the big games are pushed for that holiday, and then you give us some smaller releases after just to supplement on those sales. But after that, springtime, we already have Fire Emblem and Yoshi slated for that time period, and you know, there's only like 3 months in every season, so we can assume we're gonna get about one game per month, which has been kind of the trend up until this point. So I expect the two of those spring months to be taken up by Yoshi and Fire Emblem, and at that point I don't see Animal Crossing really making sense being placed next to some games, just because it's a big seller. I've made videos about this before, and Animal Crossing makes a lot of money for Nintendo. So yeah, I guess, I don't know, I'm hesitant to say till June. Of course, June, the end of June is that first month of summer, so I don't know, I guess I could see it happening in summer, but overall, I feel like the point I made in the podcast is what I feel I'm going to stick to, just because we don't know of any other big games that are coming. Of course, like I said, Nintendo could have more up its sleeve, but Animal Crossing is huge, and saving that for a big holiday time and keeping that in your back pocket just in case Pokemon isn't going to be finished at that point. There's a lot of overlap in those communities. There are a lot of people who like both Animal Crossing and Pokemon. I know I'm one. And so I think having that audience still there and making sure that you have a game to fit a huge audience at that point, I think that's going to be crucial. So that's why I'm leaning toward November. And yeah, let me know what you thought of this video. I feel like it'd be pretty fun to respond to comments because everybody has some pretty cool things to say on my videos, and I feel like it'd be great to highlight more of those things and just, you know, have discussions with people. Of course, feel free to comment back, leave your thoughts, write a book if you want. I know I mostly made this because I didn't want to write a huge long wall of text for people to look through. So yeah, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you next time. Bye!